I put my back to the wall to fight, but the thief's blow landed up on my third eye. Wait. The thief's blow landed up on my third eye? Do you mean your anus? Or do you mean the camera? Where is this third eye you're talking about? Oh, it's right between my left and right eyebrows. It's quite invisible to the unenlightened. You may call it the forehead if you like. Why didn't you just say that in the first place? Sir Lawyer, it looks like the creases in your own forehead are getting deeper. So Mr. Emmy got hit on the forehead then. That's what he says. I've got a funny feeling about that. Actually, so do I. Well, what do you think, Nick? Well, there's one thing that I'm absolutely sure of now. Yeah? What is it? This look at me guy, he's definitely hiding something. But why? I think it's... alright. So... I'm pretty sure earlier he said he was hit from behind, and then now he's saying he's hit from the front. But what's the evidence? Yeah, look, it says here, with a blow to the back of the head. And now he's saying he's hit from the front of the head. But what evidence is there that he was actually hit on the back? He said he was hit from behind yesterday, when we picked up the Shitishito evidence. But it doesn't mean anything, cause like he could have just been lying one way or the other. Like you can't... If a person gives you 2 bits of contradicting testimony, you can use that to prove he's lying. You can't use it to tell which time he lied. Detective Atlee! Your testimony is crumbling like a house of cards! What fun is this, Sir Lawyer? It is truly a pleasure to cross swords with you. And now, once again, you have thrown down the gauntlet at my armored feet. I believe this is what you said yesterday. Yeah, but he's lying. No, the coward must have wormed his way in through the somewhere besides the door. Then my arch-nemesis struck me on the head from behind with this gruesome item here. From behind, huh? But just now you testified that he struck you on the forehead. I hardly think you could forget where you were hit on the head. It seems I've made another mistake. You have made many mistakes. Detective Atlee! That is not the only strange part of your testimony. What do you mean by that? For example, the very fact that you hid the calling card from the police itself is strange. It's almost as if you were afraid they were going to help with security. Geniuses such as myself have always been misunderstood. How sad. That's wrong! To err is human, to forgive, divine. So are you telling me to forgive your mistakes? Is that what you're saying? Humans aren't machines. They have souls, feelings. I mean, you assume that. They live, they die, they love, they hate. And yes, they even make mistakes. Hey, hold on. It's not as pretty as that. Really? What is it like then? That coffee was pitch black. It was like cold black, not warm black. Coffee is brown. Coffee is not actually black. That coffee was literally black. Always chase a riddle down to the end. That's one of my rules. This is it. This might just be my chance to turn things around. Mr. Wright, what exactly is it that you are asserting? Very well, Your Honor. The defense asserts that Mr. Atlee is no ace detective. This Mr. Atlee is a fake. Mr. Atlee is Master Mask. how far am I gonna push this? I'm gonna push this as far as possible, right? The answer is simple. It's all clear to me now. I assume that we're gonna like stretch this, so I'm gonna just go out on a really long limb. It's all clear to me now. Detective Luke Atmey's true identity is actually Master Mask. Ah! Order in the court, Mr. Wright. What is the meaning of this? There are too many unnatural parts to Mr. Amy's story. He says he was hiding at the crime scene, which is why no one ever saw him there. And then in his last case, he manages to outperform Detective Gumshoe and the entire police force to miraculously retrieve the stolen treasure. That's because I analyzed the crime scene data and made an exquisitely elegant deduction. I picked up clues that the police overlooked in order to arrive at a... Oh please, the explanation is far simpler than that, Detective Atmey. The truth is that you are in fact Master Mask! Gurk! But Mr. Wright, this photo, it clearly shows Master Mask. This security camera belongs to Lordly Taylor department store. Hey, he's not? Because his nose is too long to fit underneath the mask. He's not Master Mask. Come on. It's actually really obvious that he's not Master Mask. Like, look at the size of that nose, and look at the size of that mask. Right? Oh, you see that? It's flat. It's flat. It's not him. That's Master Mask. He shouldn't have been able to manipulate it. He didn't need to manipulate it. He gained access to the warehouse under the pretense of providing security. Then he simply dressed up as the thief and stole the urn. So, the ace detective is actually an ace thief. Is this true, witness? Aha! LeMayo! The mask's MO is pure genius, and so am I. Look at me, ace detective. You are very clever to have come to such a conclusion. I am impressed, Sir Lawyer. Nani? Witness! You are admitting it. Nick, now's your chance. Yes, time to put the last nail in this guy's coffin. Detective Atmey! Godot blend number 102, my personal favorite. Mr. Godot! The ace detective is actually an ace thief. I smell a best-selling novel. There's only one problem, it simply isn't true. But Mr. Godot, Mr. Wright has made some very strong points, and I will admit my opponent has woven a compelling narrative out of whole cloth. But it is, in fact, nothing more than a patchwork quilt, Mr. Trite. If this detective really is the thief, then show us the proof of your claim. But it had better be as hot and as perfect as the coffee dripping down your face. Well, Mr. Wright, don't just stand there. This court would like to see this decisive proof you have. Quickly! Huh? Oh, yes, of course. What's the big rush? Are you alright, Nick? Atmey looks pretty rattled right now. I'd like to finish this right now if I can, but can I really do it? The decisive evidence that proves Look at Me is in fact Master Mask. It has yet to be found. It's the urn. We don't have decisive evidence. That doesn't prove anything. We need to find the urn. Has yet to be found. Proof? Of course I've got nothing. Ha! Just what I thought. A man has to hold his head up high no matter how bad things get, after all. I see. I thought perhaps you had some evidence to back up your assertion. Why am I the only person who ever has to present evidence? This is no good. I've got to stay on the attack. I'll never get another chance to prove that this guy is the thief. Don't give up, Nick. Think harder and try again. Oh, real? It's no good. I'm just not ready yet. But are you going to just give up and let us lose this? So you've come to your senses, have you, Sir Lawyer? I can't think of a counterattack at all. It seems the cloud of suspicion surrounding this witness has lifted. Mr. Godot, if you have anything further to add, then... What? Who? No, I'm Master Mask. No, I'm Master Mask. I'm Spartacus. Who are you? That doesn't really matter right now, does it? Mr. Light, what are you doing here? Nicky boy! The thing you've been looking for! I think I found it. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Desiree. Thanks. I mean, I knew that's what I needed, but thank you for bringing it to me, Dizzy. You mean that bag? No, not the bag. What's in the bag? Well, wait a minute. That's not... Did he break it again and put it back together again? Is that pink stuff glue? Wait a minute. They broke it again and put it back together properly? Well, that's the sacred urn! Nick, it's the urn! No, that's a fake. Order! You, madam! That urn, where did you find it? You'll never believe it! It was in the office of Mr. Fancy Pants Ace Detective. Look at me. Oh, Desi, you're the best. Sacred urn updated in the court record. Found in the office of Look at Me. Has pink splotches all over it. Alright, I get it. I get it. So the scam is the thief takes the item, the detective brings it back, but the thing that the detective brings back is a forgery, and the thief keeps the real thing. That's the scam. This is a forgery, even though it looks better than the real thing. Well, how do you explain that one, Mr. Emmy? Even you are going to have a hard time weaseling out of this one. Ah, pathetic. Mr. Godot, do you have something you wish to say? Yes, Your Honor. It simply amazes me how quickly times change. In the old days, a man was to be taken at his word. It's truly sad. I mean, the old days sound awful, Godot. The old days sound gullible. You're still denying that Mr. Atlee was involved. Before casting aspersions at Detective Atlee, consider the young lady here. Your name is Desiree. Desiree Delight, is that correct? Yes, what about it? Ah, how charming. The lengths that a woman is willing to go to save her husband is truly inspiring. What are you insinuating? The wife of the criminal, you could have discovered that urn anywhere. Including the office of the good detective here. So you found the urn. What does that prove? It certainly doesn't prove where the urn was before you found it. What? I just brought it here from the detective's office. Please, madam, this town is already filled to the brim with lies. You would know, Godot. Any more could only compound the tragedy we have been witness to. You're wrong! I would never do such a thing. Look how utterly... What is this pose? Is she insulted? Is she, what's the I can't think of the word. Mr. Light, please, Nicky boy, you've got to help me talk some sense into these people. Yeah, no, there's no sense to be talked into any of these guys. There must be some way. I've got to prove that Urn was actually in the Acme Detective Agency. Testify about what I saw. Show fingerprints on the urn. No, show your fingerprints. You can't testify to what you saw. Show fingerprints on the urn. I can't prove anything yet. I don't think I can prove anything yet. If you show fingerprints, it will show her fingerprints and Phoenix's fingerprints, but no one else's, I think. I don't actually think I can prove anything yet, except for the paint. Let me show fingerprints on the urn. I can prove where the urn was by the fingerprints on it. Fingerprints, eh? Oh, come now. Now you're really making me laugh, Sir Lawyer. Yeah, he wears gloves. Fingerprints indeed. Look at him. He wears gloves. There's no fingerprints. May I go on? Good. Now, it would be perfectly understandable if my fingerprints were on the urn. After all, it was I who was guarding the urn in the first place. In any case, I am always in the habit of wearing gloves, as you can see. So unfortunately, my fingerprints wouldn't be evidence of anything. No, but Phoenix's fingerprints would prove something. What about it, Mr. Wright? This witness's fingerprints would mean nothing anyway. Nick, what are you gonna do now? I've come too far to turn back now. Abby must have brought that urn back to his office yesterday. And there, I'm sure someone must have left their fingerprints on it. The defense proposes that the fingerprints of this person should be on the urn. So what is all this fuss about fingerprints anyway? Mr. Atney, do you recall the events of yesterday? Hey Nick, come on, open it up. Freaking liar. Hey, wait a minute. We can't just open his private property. Don't be such a fuddy-duddy. This is an important investigation, fuddy-duddy. Well, fuddy-duddy, what's in there, fuddy-duddy? Hang on a sec, I'm taking out now. Whatever it is, it feels kinda hard and smooth. I've got something hard and smooth for you. Well, hello there! It's true that I didn't get a chance to look at the bag at the time. Look in the bag at the time. But I did touch what was inside. What? You touched it? I touched something hard and smooth. And I remember it very well. It was smooth and hard. Well, that was just... Your Honor, I'd like the court to examine the fingerprints on that urn. If my fingerprints are on there, then it proves that the urn was in Detective Atmy's 8th office. Objection. Well, even if your fingerprints are on the urn, it still doesn't prove when they were put there, does it? Of course it does. What did you say? It's not what I say, but what Adrian Andrews, the person in charge of the exhibition, said. So tenuous. I polished it until it was just about glowing. I thought maybe I could make it look more valuable. If she polished it that much, she must have removed any and all fingerprints on it. And the only chance I had to get my fingerprints on it after that was yesterday at the Acme Detective Agency. Ah, this blend, Godot Blend 107. I've decided. It's a little too bitter after all. Order, I accept the defense's request. Bailiff! Take this urn and... Wait a moment, Your Honor. There's no need for that. No need, you say? Precisely. I already know Mr. Wright's fingerprints are on the urn. What are you saying? Yes, I've finally broken him down. The Mayo. Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. But I don't think it's him. His nose is too big. Here I am, the tragic clown. This guy is nuttier than a fruitcake. Are there nuts in a fruitcake? I thought it's fruitier than a fruitcake. Well, I mean, he's... well, that's a different thing. You see, it was me all along. I am the one and only Master Mask. Ha ha, I hope you all enjoyed my little performance. LeMayo. Well, Mr. Godot, what's Mr. Emmy's condition? He's still in the lobby laughing insanely, Your Honor. Insanely. I wish I could enjoy the joke as much as he seems to be. Well, it looks like the matter has been settled. I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of thief! Nick, you were right after all!